Being busy is a form of laziness. You heard me right. We run around. We hustle. We fill our calendars, not because we're productive, but because it's easier than doing what actually matters. I still remember a period in my life when I was working 12-hour days. My inbox was clear. My to-do list was checked. People thought I was unstoppable. But the truth, my business wasn't growing. I was stuck in place. I wasn't moving forward, I was just busy. So let me ask you, are you actually moving forward, or just keeping yourself busy? And that's the busy trap, a trap where you feel in motion, but deep down you know you're not making real progress. Today, we're going to break it open, because the world doesn't need more people sprinting on hamster wheels. It needs people who are moving with intention. We live in a culture that worships busyness. If you're not working late, you're lazy. If your calendar has a blank space, you're not ambitious. We've been sold this idea that your worth equals your productivity. But here's the illusion nobody talks about. We're confusing motion with progress. Think about it. A hamster running in its wheel looks busy. It's sweating, it's moving, but in reality, it hasn't moved an inch. That's us. We're filling every hour with activity, mistaking the feeling of effort for actual results. And you've lived it. We all have. It's Monday morning. You walk into the office, coffee in hand. Within 5 minutes, you've already been pulled into 3 different conversations. By 10 a.m., Slack has 27 unread messages. Your manager drops a last-minute task on your desk. And before you even touch the one project that actually matters, half the day is gone. You feel exhausted, but when you look back, you realize you haven't moved forward at all. You answer emails at midnight and feel like a hero. You jump into back-to-back Zoom calls and think, I'm important. You check 10 things off your to-do list, but none of them bring you closer to your real goals. It's fake progress. It's the illusion of momentum. And that's the trap. The brain loves it, by the way. Because activity feels safe, it feels like control. Deep down you know you should sit down and plan that big project, but instead, you tidy up your inbox. You know you should finally pitch that client. But instead, you spend 2 hours formatting a presentation that no one will care about. And let's be real, it feels good. That little dopamine hit of crossing something off a list. That quick burst of satisfaction when you look productive. But here's the problem. None of it actually moves you forward. Motion is a mirage. From a distance, it looks like progress. But the closer you get, you realize it's just sand slipping through your hands. Here's the painful paradox. The harder you try to be productive, the less you actually accomplish. Why? Because your brain wasn't designed for chaos. Every ping, every Slack notification, every last-minute email. It doesn't just interrupt your focus, it steals it. Psychologists call it cognitive overload. Let's keep it simple. Your brain just can't handle that much switching. You think you're multitasking, you're not. You're just shifting attention back and forth, leaking energy every single time. And then comes decision fatigue. By 4 p.m., you're exhausted. Not because you've been solving deep problems. Not because you built something meaningful. But because you spent your entire day fighting 1,000 tiny battles. That's not accomplishment. That's exhaustion. Here's the distinction nobody tells you. Activity is clearing your inbox. Accomplishment is writing the one page that moves your book forward. Activity is jumping into 10 meetings. Accomplishment is one bold decision that saves your team 6 months. Same hours, different results. And it doesn't just happen at work. The same trap follows us everywhere. You tell yourself you'll take a 5-minute break, you open TikTok. 45 minutes later, you snap out of it. Not rested, not inspired, just more drained. Different arena, same trap. And here's where it gets worse. Busyness convinces you that you're doing the right thing. You end the day drained, but you call it a productive day. It's not. It's just motion, disguised as progress. Think about your own week. How many times did you push aside the one thing that actually mattered, so you could react to a notification instead? That's the paradox of perpetual motion. The more you hustle, the more you drown in noise. And the less room you leave for the things that actually matter. But the grind doesn't just waste your time, it steals from you. When you're stuck in reactive busyness, you lose clarity. You lose control. You become a human pinball. Bouncing from email to deadline to Slack notification, your boss's mood dictates your mood. A client's last-minute request ruins your whole day. One small mistake feels like a personal failure. That's not control. That's slavery. And it kills creativity. The best ideas don't come in 10-minute gaps between back-to-back meetings. They come in the shower, on a walk, in the quiet moments when your brain finally has room to breathe. But in the grind, those moments disappear. And with them, your ability to think strategically. Instead of building the future, you're trapped in firefighting today. And while you're drowning in noise, opportunities fly right past you. Think of Kodak. In 1975, one of their engineers invented the digital camera, revolutionary, but leadership ignored it. They were too busy protecting their film business, too focused on the grind of the old model. And that blindness, it cost them everything. And the same thing happens on a smaller scale, too. I've seen it in my own life. I remember one night staring at my Slack threads, convincing myself I was working, when really, I was just avoiding the one hard decision I needed to make. That's what busyness does. It keeps you comfortable. It tricks you into thinking you're productive, while you're really just hiding from the things that matter most. And then came the year I fell hardest into the busy trap. 12-hour days, every email answered, every box checked, every meeting attended. And people looked at me like I was unstoppable, like I was crushing it. But inside, I knew the truth. My business wasn't growing. My strategy was stalled. I wasn't leading. I was just managing noise. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't making progress. I was just busy. That's the cruelest trick of hustle culture. It convinces you that exhaustion is noble, that burnout is a badge of honor. But really, it's self-sabotage, disguised as hard work. So how do the calm ones do it? The rare people who move through chaos untouched? They stopped playing the busy game. They started playing the energy game. Because productivity isn't about managing time. It's about managing energy, your focus, your peace of mind. That's your most valuable currency. And you can't keep giving it away for free. Here's how they do it. 1. Prioritize leverage, not effort. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. That's the Pareto principle, but let's make it real. Sending 50 emails, that's effort. Securing one high-leverage client that changes everything, that's leverage. Spending hours tweaking a PowerPoint, that's effort. Delivering one clear decision that sets your team's direction for 6 months. That's leverage. Stop asking, how hard am I working? Start asking, what impact does this work create? 2. Become the observer, not the reactor. When a new email hits, when a Slack ping interrupts, when a deadline suddenly shifts, pause. Don't absorb the stress. Observe it. Most people interpret every change as a personal attack. They don't respect my time. This ruins my day. That interpretation burns energy. Instead, reframe. This is just input. I decide how to respond. That's the difference between living as a pinball and living as a player. 3. Protect your focus like gold. Deep work isn't a luxury. It's the antidote to shallow busyness. 2 hours of pure, uninterrupted focus, no phone, no notifications, no quick checks, beats an entire week of fragmented attention. Think about it. You've had days where you worked 8 hours and produced almost nothing. And you've had days where one intense session created more value than a whole week. That's the power of deep work. And most people never taste it, because they're too busy reacting. And here's the irony. The less you do, the more you achieve. The calm ones aren't superhuman. They've just learned this truth. Productivity isn't intensity, it's intentionality. Escaping the busy trap isn't about buying a new planner. It's not about downloading another productivity app. It's about reprogramming how you respond to the world. Here's how you start. Step 1. Audit your reactions. For one day, just notice. Notice what hijacks your focus. An email, a Slack ping, a random notification. See it, don't judge it, just notice. Step 2. Ask the energy question. Before every task, pause, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. And that's okay. Step 3. Block your focus. Tomorrow, carve out just 90 minutes. One task, no distractions, no excuses, an unbreakable appointment with your future self. Because the goal isn't to be the busiest person in the room. The goal is to be the most intentional. When you stop reacting to everything, you finally start building something. So let me ask you this: will you keep sprinting endlessly on the hamster wheel, pretending motion equals progress, or will you step off and finally walk the path that actually leads somewhere? The choice is yours. If this video opened your eyes, share it with one person stuck in the grind, because you never know. It might be the push they need to finally escape. And if you want to master intentional focus, not frantic motion, hit subscribe. Because the world doesn't need more hustle. It needs more people who are awake, intentional, and building what actually matters.